Top 5 targets the Heat should go after this offseason via trade or free agency. Let's start
Number 5.
with number 5, and that is Zion Williamson.
Whoa.
Yeah, the big fella. 24 years old with the New Orleans Pelicans. Obviously, nothing has worked out for him, but when Zion is healthy and somewhat in shape, he's one of the 10 best players in the league. He'll be available this offseason. The Heat can go and get him likely without giving up too many assets. That sets the roster back. The reason why I like the trade for Zion is, here's what I would do if I was the Heat. I would not trade this upcoming year's pick, but I would trade anybody in that locker room not named Bam Adebayo, plus any other future draft picks or assets to bring Zion in. And you keep Khalil Ware too. Keep Khalil Ware, keep Bam Adebayo. You have Zion Williamson, and you roll the dice. Tyler Hero's got to go. No shade. They likely are going to want him in New Orleans. Here's the reason why I would do this. If you're able to keep that pick next year, which will be extremely hard to pull off, but I believe in you, Mickey, you can actually set yourself up. If the Zion train goes poorly and he doesn't get in shape, I don't even think the shape or the health is the worst concern with Zion. I think it's his interest in women. He's going to get himself in some real serious trouble in South Beach if the kind of women that we saw him linked to publicly were a big enough distraction in New Orleans and Dallas, because apparently that's where he was traveling. South Beach is full of them.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough in Miami for Zion, but if you can keep him focused at 24 years old, get him in shape, keep him healthy, this is easy. It could either be great or it's going to be abysmal. And if it's bad, you keep your pick. You can draft at the top of the lottery next year.
Yeah, and it's important that you said 24 years old.
Yeah, he's so young.
That's how young he is, even though it seems like the casual basketball viewing audience has kind of given up. And it's kind of like, okay, remember when he was a bust? He's already considered a bust by many of people because you don't hear about him at all. Even though he was a prodigy. He was a one-man show at Duke. He was the next, quote, LeBron in terms of a player that was followed from high school to college, and it was the Zion sweepstakes for the NBA.
And it went absolutely like worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I don't think it could have been any worse, because the problem is if he bottoms out early, you can get off of him early, but he's been just good enough to keep the Pelicans holding on to hope, and so he's pretty much ruined the past 5 years for New Orleans. So why not let that be the Heat fate?
Number 4.
Number 4 is a little bit off the beaten track here, but Desmond Bane's going to be available this year. Desmond Bane from the Memphis Grizzlies. And the reason I say that is I would not give up a lot to get Bane, but what I would do is see if you can find a way to get Hero out the door and get Desmond Bane into the Heat locker room. He just feels like a Heat culture guy. Bane as a two-way guard, a sharpshooter, a plus defender, as well as a hard worker, a hustler, a sturdy dude, hard to move. Like, I would love to see him in a Heat uniform, and I do believe it's about that time in Memphis where they blow everything up. Bane should be available. You can't give up too much for him, but if you can find him on a bargain as Memphis looks to reset, bring Bane in the house. I like it.
I appreciate the play style fit because doesn't it seem like this team lacked a little bit of grit?
Oh, man.
I liked how Mitchell looked. Davion Mitchell was fun to watch when he was on.
We got to keep Davion Mitchell, by the way.
Yeah, he brought that kind of just intangible grit that you almost saw with players like Lowry.
Yeah.
Like, sure, his efficiency could use some work, but he was a culture fit in certain ways.
Super culture fit. And also with him, like last night, it looked like everybody had given up and didn't care. Davion Mitchell's not that kind of guy. He doesn't have quit in his heart, which is supposed to be what is essential to Heat culture, which is what I expected from everybody, but you didn't get it. Keep Davion Mitchell. Get Desmond Bane in here.
Number 3.
Top 5 Heat targets this offseason as the season has come to a dreaded end. So I'm not going to be banging the drum for this to happen, but I would be in favor of it. Trae Young.
All right.
Trae Young.
We go. That's a weird turn from Bane to Young.
So the Heat haven't had like a playmaking guard like that for quite some time. A guy that you can like literally run your offense through, who can get lobs to Khalil Ware and Bam Adebayo, who also can create enough pressure on the defense to where they're afraid of his three-point shot from 30 feet out. He's an excellent passer. He's not always the most focused guy, but I think with Eric Spoelstra, you can probably find a way to get enough out of him. Plus, I trust Spo to be able to hide him on defense just as much as we're able to hide Tyler Hero, which ain't saying much, but at the very least, at least we know Trae is going to be good on the other end.
Likes being a villain, too.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
I think this team could use a villain.
Yeah. They could. And Trae Young could work. I don't want it all the way. That's why he's number 3 on this list. But I would appreciate them taking a swing for a guy like that who will be likely available. He's 24 and 11 last year? 24 and 11. I think he led the league in assists. The dude's good.
So is there a very steep uptick in interest in numbers 2 and 1 versus Trae Young at 3?
This is the cutoff. Like, this is like the Trae Young is the last of the people I would be like happy about, but not excited to watch in a Heat jersey. Now we get to the part of the list where, like, oh my goodness, the engine is revving.
Number 2.
Number 2, Heat free agency / trade targets for this offseason. Kevin Durant. It's your next chapter, baby. Come on down to South Florida. This is what you do. You tried to make your own way in Brooklyn. You tried to make your own way in Phoenix. Why not go somewhere where the table is set and they can direct you to a championship? LeBron James did it when the Big Three formed back in the day. We taught him how to win. You've done it before when you went to Golden State and they taught you how to become a champion. One last rodeo, one last time in Miami. Plus, the way that Brian Windhorst, NBA insider for ESPN, has been talking about the availability of KD this summer as the Suns look to trade him and reset some things, it sounds like you might not have to give up too much to get him right now. Because the benefit of the Suns trading KD is to get themselves out of luxury tax hell and to unrestrict themselves from being able to make roster moves thanks to the new CBA and the new second apron rules. If they keep everybody all together, they're going to be past the second apron, missing the playoffs, and also unable to have any flexibility. The Suns might get out of KD at a bargain. Go get that dude.
I think table is set for him without. I think KD plus one of your requests, 3, 4, 5. No, it's KD with the current cast.
KD on this team would be a top 3 or 4 team in the East, and they would have a good chance to compete for a title. I would feel good about the Heat next year if it was KD with Bam, Khalil Ware. Maybe you do keep Tyler Hero, Davion Mitchell. You add something through the draft. Like, I think it could work.
And that brings us to number 1.
Number 1.
Top 5, no debating. Top 5.
It's a Top 5 Tuesday here. Top 5 Miami Heat trade / free agency destination, or excuse me, not destinations, but targets. And I think number 1 is clear, C-Cat. Now, for all the other guys on this list, again, 5 I had Zion Williamson, 4 Desmond Bane, 3 Trae Young, 2 was Kevin Durant. For all the other guys on the list, I would not be willing to part ways with Bam Adebayo. For this guy, I would say everybody and a mama is available. Hell, I might trade Eric Spoelstra for the dude. Bring me the Greek Freak. Give me Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'd hate to see the Bucks leave him, but I'd love to see him end up in a 3-4 in that Miami Heat uniform. Giannis is perfectly made to be the guy that is the heir apparent to what this past Heat run was. You get Giannis in your uniform, you're getting a guy that is an MVP candidate every single year, a guy that can be the best player in any series you step into, depending on how you scheme around him, what kind of talent you surround him with, but also just depending on how he's feeling that morning, because we've seen it before. Remember when he had a bum leg and he went 50 and 15 in the finals to clinch it out against the Suns? Like, give me that guy in a Heat uniform and elongate his career. I think he's still got 4 or 5 more dominant years in him, if not more, especially if he comes out to South Florida. Like, who says no? Probably the Bucks.
Yeah, so
we don't have
run by the realistic package to get Giannis in Miami.
So this is the thing. Bam Adebayo would have to be included. That's the issue. That's the issue there. I think you can keep Khalil Ware. You could probably find a way to keep Khalil Ware, but Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero likely have to go out the door along with many other future assets. It would be a deal centering around Bam. And why would you do it if you're the Bucks? Well, if Giannis demands a trade, you got to send them somewhere. I do think a Bam-centric package could end up being the most delectable. The question is, will the Heat ever part ways with Bam? He is supposed to be the heir apparent to Heat culture. He's supposed to be the guy that carries the torch into the next 5, 6, 7 years. And that's not me saying it. It's what the Heat front office have been telling us. It's what Dwayne Wade himself said when he had his statue unveiled to start this season off. Like, this is the only guy I would do it for, though, C-Cat. If we can get Giannis, you get rid of Bam. If not, Bam needs to stay put. He is essential to everything that the Miami Heat do, but I am willing to break my morals for Greeky Freaky. Am I tripping here?